Sea of Thieves, a game steeped with legend, lore, and shrouded in mystery. From the comic books to the tabletop RPG, even down to the players that have left their mark in Easter eggs all across the sea. That has always been one of my favorite parts about Sea of Thieves, is it allows the player base to help shape not only the story and lore, but also the game itself. So, today, I thought I'd throw my 2-cent hat in the ring and offer up a couple ideas that I've had, some ideas from my friends, and some other things that I've seen floating around in the community. This is going to be a more discussion style type video, so if you like any of these ideas or have any ideas of your own, let's talk about it down in the comments. Since launch, there's always been a lot of discussion around pirate legend status and captaincy. Not going to get too far into it today because there's already a lot of videos that cover the subject. But to go along with things like naming your ship, there is one thing I would like to see come with captaincy status. Alright, imagine this. You walk down into the pirate legend hideout and talk to the shipwright. She gives you a list of commendations. Checking off those different commendations will earn you different shapes and logos that you can use to dress up your sails, setting you apart while you're out on the seas. And I've already thought about some of the different ways that people might try to use this, so may I suggest something along the lines of a coat of arms of sorts? You know those groups of little fish that are all swimming around the islands? Alright, hear me out. What if there was a similar character model for something like stingrays or large turtles that we could see swimming around the island to bring a little bit of life to the sea? Or maybe even something off in the distance like a humpback whale. Or even better, a pod of dolphins that swims alongside your boat whenever you hit full billow. But there's one thing I know a majority of the player base has wanted for a very long time. I'm about to say it. Please give us crabs. On a different note, there is some new plant life that I'd like to see. So, say you find yourself on an island that doesn't have any snakes. You're looking around for your treasure, and you think for the most part that you're safe. When all of a sudden, out of the bushes, comes some poisonous venom. Poisonous plants that shoot venom a lot like the snakes do will be a cool addition to islands, spicing things up just a little bit, keeping players on their toes and adding just a bit more magic to the Sea of Thieves. A place for these really poisonous plants is exactly the next thing I want to talk about. What if we had a new biome that wasn't an ice biome? I know, everybody wants that. But what about a jungle biome? Would give a place for these poisonous plants, but also interesting encounters such as maybe parrots flying around or random island monkeys that you could chase down for a banana. The plant life on these islands would be so dense it would make finding X marks the spot voyages almost impossible, but when you did find them, make them that much more worth it whenever you bring the loot haul back into port. Speaking of port and outposts and the Sea Dog Tavern, one thing I think we've been missing for a long time is some kind of gambling system. Now, should that be something like a card game or something like Liar's Dice? I don't know. But I'd love to have a way to gamble my gold with other players, or maybe even take a handful of silver back from Arena to gamble in the Sea Dog Tavern. For a long time, people have wanted ways to fight with their crewmates, and we could use blunder bombs and fire bombs, but that'll set the ship on fire and more or less be a waste of munitions. This would be the solution, and definitely a lot of fun. Allow us to toggle our fruit and bait, so that way they could become throwable, and we could start little impromptu food fights on the ship. Along with food as a projectile, I'd also like to see the shovel utilized in different ways. So instead of just being able to dig with it, you could pull it out in combat, or even better against your crewmate. A quick bonk on the head will leave the other player seeing stars and stunned just for a second or two. And if the rest of the crew thinks you throwing fruit and bonking people on the head with a shovel is a brig-worthy offense, then, at least on the galleon, the players could choose to have an animation where you walk the plank before you end up going into the brig, instead of just disappearing and going right in there. I can't wait to see what Sea of Thieves has in the coming years, and the adventures that it's going to hold. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And like I said, I'd like to know your ideas about anything you'd like to see come to the seas down in the comments. See you guys next time.